One of the areas in research that interests me greatly are things that we commonly do, even things that have a level of a class 1 indication in the guidelines, but for which we have no real evidence. A lot of those are 1C type of recommendations. And two that come to mind, which I think are interesting things that we do all the time, but we really don't know if they're helpful or harmful, are the administration of oxygen to people who are having a heart attack, or the administration of morphine to people who are having a heart attack and perhaps have ongoing pain. And let's talk about each of them separately, why it's interesting, and maybe what people are doing about it. In the situation of oxygen, it's routinely taught that when emergency medical technicians arrive on the scene of somebody having a possible heart attack, they put either a face mask on or nasal cannulas and administer oxygen. And that seems to be a rational thing to do. But interestingly, there's several groups around the globe that have raised questions is maybe that's not so reasonable. And in fact, in a modest-sized clinical trial comparing oxygen administration to room air administration, it was demonstrated that infarct size, in fact, was larger in the group of patients who got oxygen compared with room air. That to me is fascinating because it's something that we do all the time and you get a paradoxical result. Now our friends in Sweden are instituting a large pragmatic trial of embedding that test into their countrywide registries. So more to come on that story, but I think a humble reminder that you need evidence even for common things. The second one is something that's intrigued me for years, and that is the morphine question. When patients are having heart attacks, we frequently administer morphine as a way to reduce pain, relieve anxiety. Potentially by doing those two things, you improve myocardial oxygen consumption and presumably improve outcome. A number of years ago, a fellow in our research group asked what the evidence was, and we began to look at it in an observational sort of way. And he observed that in fact there may be harm associated with morphine use.